The Nairobi High Court has sentenced to death Miss Langata Prison 2016 beauty pageant winner Ruth Kamande over the murder of her boyfriend Farid Mohammed in 2015.
Contestant number 5.
Oh my!
I was so surprised and shocked. I didn't know actually that I'm going to get this, and I thank God for it because of God's favor.
Ruth Kamande was born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya. She grew up like many young girls, going to school, playing with friends, and dreaming of a bright future. Her teachers described her as smart and quiet. She was respectful, neat, and always liked to look good. Ruth loved reading fashion magazines, listening to music, and watching beauty pageants on TV. She had a close relationship with her mother, but her parents separated when she was still young.
Has life ever knocked you down? When I got incarcerated way back in 2015, I was so scared and worried of the unknown. I was very devastated, felt broken, empty, and confused. I remember the first inmate who came to approach me whilst in that state was this young mother of two sons who first of all gave me a very weird stare without uttering a word. Then after a moment of awkwardness, she asked, "Hey young girl, what brings you in here?" I did not answer back. Then she said, "As for me, I am a very worried mom because I feel like I have failed my two sons."
This made her grow up fast. She had to learn to take care of herself early. Even with challenges at home, Ruth remained focused on school. She joined church youth groups and had dreams of working in media or modeling someday. Her friends called her a go-getter. She always said she wanted to make her mother proud. No one could ever imagine that this quiet, polite girl would one day end up in prison. When Ruth finished high school, she started living on her own. Like many young women in Nairobi, she wanted independence, to make her own decisions and live her own life. It was around this time that she met a man named Farid Mohammed. He was older than her, good-looking and confident. They met through friends and very quickly they started dating. At first, everything looked perfect. They went out together, took photos, and looked like a happy couple. Friends said Ruth truly loved Farid. She would talk about him all the time. But as months went by, their relationship started to change. There were arguments, there was jealousy, and sometimes Ruth felt like Farid was hiding things from her. Still, she stayed, believing that love could fix things. But no one knew that this love story was heading towards something dark. By 2015, Ruth and Farid's relationship had become unstable. Ruth told some people that Farid was not faithful. She also said he was controlling and secretive. Sometimes they could argue for hours. Neighbors later said they often heard shouting from their house. Then came the moment that changed everything. Ruth said she discovered medical documents and HIV medication belonging to Farid. She claimed that he had never told her about his health condition, and she felt angry and betrayed. She said she asked him about it, and he got violent. What happened next was a tragedy that shocked Kenya. It was Sunday, September 20th, 2015 in Buruburu, Nairobi. Neighbors heard shouting from an apartment. At first they thought it was just another couple's fight, but soon the shouting turned into screams. When police arrived, they found a young man, Farid Mohammed, lying on the floor, bleeding heavily. He had been stabbed 22 times in the chest, neck, and back. In the same room was Ruth Kamande, holding a knife and looking shocked and terrified. She was arrested immediately. Police said she had locked herself in the house after the stabbing. Ruth told them it was self-defense, that she feared for her life after confronting Farid about the medicine, but the police believed it was a crime of anger, a fit of rage. Farid died before he could be taken to hospital. Ruth was taken to the police station, then to court. And just like that, the young girl with big dreams became the main suspect in a murder case that will make national headlines. Ruth Kamande's case began in 2015 and lasted for 3 long years. Every time she appeared in court, photographers were waiting. Many people could not believe that such a beautiful young woman could commit such a violent crime. The courtroom was always full. The prosecution said Ruth killed Farid in cold blood, that she stabbed him many times because of jealousy and anger. The defense said she acted in self-defense, that she was scared after discovering his health secret, and that she never meant to kill him. For 3 years, the case went on, with witnesses, neighbors, police, and medical experts all testifying. Then in July 2018, the judge, Justice Jesse Lesit, gave her final decision.
The Nairobi High Court has sentenced to death Miss Langata Prison 2016 beauty pageant winner Ruth Kamande over the murder of her boyfriend Farid Mohammed in 2015. During sentencing, the court noted that the accused in her mitigation did not indicate that she acted out of anguish or despair, saying the accused acted with clear intention to cause the deceased pain, suffering and death. At the time of the killing in 2015, Ruth Kamande was only 21 years old and had just been enrolled at JKUAT to study business.
She said Ruth Kamande's act was deliberate. She said the 22 stab wounds showed cruelty and malice, and then she sentenced Ruth to death. The courtroom went silent. Ruth wept, her mother fainted. The story was on every news channel that day. Some Kenyans said she deserved it. Others said it was too harsh, that she was young and maybe she could change. But the law had spoken. Ruth was taken to Langata Women's Prison, Kenya's largest women's prison. At first, she struggled. The prison environment was cold and lonely. She had to adjust to new routines, waking up early, doing chores, and following strict rules. But slowly, Ruth started changing. She began reading the Bible and joined the prison church group. She started helping other inmates in reading and writing. Then something surprising happened. In 2016, the prison held a beauty pageant, Miss Langata Prison. Ruth joined the competition, and to everyone's surprise, she won the crown. Pictures of her wearing a red dress and smiling proudly spread across social media. People started calling her the beauty queen behind bars. But to Ruth, it wasn't about fame. She said it was about hope. I remember that even behind bars, she could still become better. She started taking correspondence courses, reading motivational books, and mentoring young inmates. God described her as polite and hardworking. She often told others, don't let one mistake define the rest of your life. After her sentencing, Ruth appealed her case, asking for the death sentence to be changed to life imprisonment. Human rights groups like Amnesty International also spoke about it, saying Kenya should not execute her because no death sentence had been carried out in years. Her appeal is still ongoing. Meanwhile, Ruth continues her life in prison, reading, studying, and sometimes appearing in programs to inspire other inmates. Her story is now taught as a lesson in anger, love, and forgiveness. Ruth Kamande's story is a painful reminder that one moment of anger can destroy 2 lives. She lost her freedom, Farid lost his life, and 2 families lost peace. No one truly wins in such a tragedy. Her story teaches us about the power of emotions, how jealousy, fear, and anger can take control if we don't learn to manage them. It also teaches us that even in our darkest moments, change is still possible. Ruth says she has found peace in faith and that she prays every day for forgiveness. She once had dreams of becoming a model, and now she models in a different kind of beauty, inner peace, growth, and learning from mistakes. As she remains in Langata Prison, her story continues to move many Kenyans. A warning, a lesson, and a message. Think before you act, because one choice can change your whole life.
Contestant number 5.
Oh my!
I was so surprised and shocked. I didn't know actually that I'm going to get this, and I thank God for it because of God's favor.